teachers want to meet the needs of their students, but because we're stretched so thin, we don't always meet those needs, right? And it's that constant cycle of feeling like, how can I do more? How can I do more?
Hi, my name is Bruno Morlan, and I teach social studies in Lafayette, California. In this series, produced for Class Companion, I talk to teachers from various different disciplines and highlight some of the exciting work that they're doing in their classes. I recently talked to Julissa Bohannon, who teaches in South Texas. She started using Class Companion to track her students' daily progress. She eventually found that she could use Class Companion's rubrics to adapt to her AP English Language Arts class. Eventually, she's found that Class Companion has helped her differentiate instruction amongst her students and also has given some of her students a newfound confidence in writing. Here's some of our conversation.
So I teach at a local charter school. I've been teaching there for 8 years, but total time teaching 17 years, and I teach AP English Language and Composition.
Cool. How did you hear about Class Companion? And then when you heard about it, go ahead.
Well, I heard about it from a colleague of mine. She teaches AP US History, and she was like messing around with it, and she showed me what it could do. And then I really love technology. Like my entire teaching career, anytime any new tech comes out, especially like that's geared towards education, I like to play around with it, see what it can do, see how I can use it. So I just started kind of embedding my own rubrics on Class Companion since it wasn't completely tailored to AP English. But once I got the hang of how to upload the rubrics and make sure that the wording was right, I really, really loved it.
That's really cool. So that's kind of what convinced you to start using it, is like your ability to use the rubrics?
That, and then also my district started a new initiative where we have to track student data for every lesson. So we're not just tracking test data, but we're tracking how they did on that objective on that day. And I was feeling really overwhelmed, especially as an English teacher, thinking that I was going to have to read paragraphs or essay responses, and have like a not even 1 day turnover, because they wanted that data posted outside our classrooms immediately after that class was done. So I was thinking, okay, how can I do this?
Yeah.
So then once I started seeing how I could use Class Companion, I leveraged that to be able to track data in real time and then also give students feedback, and immediately they were able to like fix it and then improve their score. So I really, really loved that.
How do other teachers do this? This seems crazy to me. I don't know how I would do this in my own class. I mean, is there like a standard way that other teachers meet this requirement?
My understanding is teachers are trying the very best that they can. And I have been telling them like, hey, Class Companion can do this. I can show you how to tweak the rubrics so that you can get some really valuable data. I really think teachers are already stretched really thin, and teachers want to meet the needs of their students, but because we're stretched so thin, we don't always meet those needs, right? And it's that constant cycle of feeling like, how can I do more? How can I do more? And I really think utilizing AI is the way to be able to do more without overextending ourselves. And to teach students how to view it as a tool and not a replacement of, the great ideas and thoughts that they have in their own heads, right? So I really think that it's the best way to leverage the changes that are already occurring in the world and the technology that our students are going to have access to, and then also making sure that we are still helping them become better writers.
And you said that you use this mostly for your exit tickets. Like, what kind of questions do you ask in the exit tickets?
So when we had our Macbeth unit, the exit tickets were like short answer responses asking them to reflect on how Macbeth or Lady Macbeth had changed in the scene that we read that day. But I've also used it in a way to break apart the paragraph writing. So I've given them a topic sentence and then asked them to add evidence that would fit that topic sentence. And I played around with the rubric to make sure that it would kind of see the connection between the topic sentence and evidence.
Mhm.
I've done that. And then also, since we're in AP English language, every once in a while they do have to just write a full body paragraph and submit that. Within like 10 minutes, they have to be able to write a body paragraph. So
I want to step in here and talk about the rubrics that Julissa has been talking about. And I want to show you by creating a new assignment. I'm going to click on assignments and I'm going to add an assignment. In this case, I'm going to create it from scratch. And this assignment is going to be an essay, and it's going to be an argumentation essay on perfection. I'm going to skip the unit and the topic for now. I'm not going to add it to the assignment template library. What I really want to do is go down to the rubric, and under template, I'm going to create a new rubric by hitting create new rubric, and I'm going to hit table and have two criterions, because Julissa students right now are only focusing on the first two rows of the third free response questions. That's thesis. So I'm going to name the first one thesis. And then the second one is evidence and commentary. So I'm going to do evidence and commentary. And for row A, there's only 1 point. I'm going to leave that there. And for row B, there are 4 points. I've moved my face out of the way. So now I can add 3 and 4 points. Now, in just a second, I'm going to fill in all of these rows and boxes with Julissa's actual rubric, and we'll see you back in just a second. All right, now I am back, and as you can see, I filled in all of the rows and boxes for each criteria. So for the thesis, I've got 0 and 1 points. For evidence and commentary, I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. So now that I'm happy with it, I'm going to click on Save Rubric. And the next thing I need to do is write in my essay prompt. I'm copying and pasting it now. So there it is. Write an essay that argues your position on the value of striving for perfection. I'm going to make my students type it, and I'm going to give them 3 attempts. I'm going to click finish and publish my assignments now. I'm going to hit the 3 dots on the side, click preview assignment, and here I am. Now I'm going to show you exactly what a student would see, and I'm still on my teacher side. In the preview of the assignment, I can give a sample response to the AI so that I can be happy on how the AI is grading it. And so I'm pasting my text. This is the actual text that one of Julissa's students typed in, and I'm going to submit the assignment. And as you can see, it's going to take a minute to grade the essay. It's going to happen right here on the right side. And now I got some confetti, and it shows me that I've got a 5 out of a 5. So it says that my thesis is clear, and then everything else for evidence and commentary, it shows that I have completed everything that I need to do to get all the points in the rubric that I created. Now that you say that the rubric has been changed, or you changed the rubric and also Class Companion, it seems like they've added a lot of assignments that are geared towards the English language subjects. Do you think that it does a good job of grading the assignments that you give your students?
Yes, it really does. And the few times where I have had to override a score and I've added in the comments on Class Companion, I've seen that then the next round of students that are given a score, like it's becoming more intuitive, and it begins to like recognize what I'm looking for. So I really like that feature of being able to override the score and then add in that comment as well.
And how have your kids reacted to the feedback that they get? Have you seen any improvement in their scores or their writing?
I've seen improvement in their writing. Now, some students, I think because they were used to the idea of a teacher, having a million things to do. So maybe the teacher gets the paper and is like, oh, thanks. And you maybe don't get around to reading it right away or giving them immediate feedback. So they were used to kind of just being able to hand in something and not have to redo it.
Yeah.
But I tell them what their goal is. So like our rubric is on a 6-point scale, and I tell them you have to get a 4. So they're like, Class Companion hates me, because they'll like get a 3 and then they're like having to rewrite and revise. But I've seen growth in them. I've also seen a lot of investment where students will actually take time to read the feedback and then ask me questions about what that feedback means. So I really think that it helps to open up a conversation between student and teacher.
That's really cool. Yeah, I don't know if you had, I'm sure you had this, but every time I would give something back, kids would be like, I have no idea what I was thinking at that moment. I don't know
Yeah.
why I wrote that. I
Yeah.
don't even remember who wrote this.
Yeah. And then
Cool.
asking them to revise, like after giving it back, maybe a week later, it was like pulling teeth because
yeah.
it was like the assignment's over. So why do I have to revise it? Whereas the immediate feedback, like they just get straight to revision.
Being a lot of different reasons as to how this has changed your teaching. Like, do you have any other ways in which you think that this has changed your teaching? Can you see yourself continuing to use it moving forward?
Oh, definitely. I do see myself continuing to use it. I also feel like it has helped me become better at differentiation. My district is an AP for all district. So what that means is every single student enrolled in 11th grade is taking AP English, even if they don't want to take it, even if they are students with special learning needs, EL students, right? So I really like that the immediate feedback helps to give me a way to support them. So like they understand that AI is a great tool for us to use. However, it's not a replacement of, our critical thinking, our ability to generate ideas. Instead, it's, a tool that we can use to become better writers.
Cool. Well, what would you say to someone who is hesitant about using AI or using Class Companion?
I have seen a lot of growth and buy-in from my students who have told me they never felt like they could ever become good writers. Them seeing their scores day to day and seeing their own growth versus a grade, but actually like rubric and feedback has really helped boost some of my students' confidence, where they initially were like, I don't know how to write. I don't even understand what you're asking me to do. The feedback that they've gotten and then me using exemplars and showing them how to take their own work and, just tweak it to make sure that it's actually meeting the rubric's demands has really, really gotten them excited about writing. So like, I really think that it's something that definitely could get unmotivated kids a little bit more motivated.
That's really cool. I mean, like, if that's not an endorsement that would mobilize someone, I don't know what would be. That's really cool.